Hello everybody, BL here, hoping that you're doing well working on the pieces to your puzzle. This video is going to talk about Grandmaster Jay and the arrest, but more specifically how when we stand divided, we fall united. If we continue to be divided, we're all going to sink. Heard the term divide and conquer? And so as I watch what's going on, and I've been keeping tabs or whatever, not necessarily posting on here, and I'll get into that at a later time as to why I've not been posting so much here. Maybe in this video, another one or whatever I've got, I need to post up at some point. But here are my questions. Why can't we support each other? Why is it when one person tries to rise up and take action, we become our worst enemy? We scrutinize them heavily. You know, we're picking them apart. If they got a booger in their nose, we're going to find it. We're going to expose it. And we're going to discourage anyone from supporting them because they had a booger in their nose. We hold them to things that may or may not be true. To things they may or may not have done. But things that we've heard. But we don't do that with our oppressors. And we don't do that with our oppressors with things that we know they've done. So we know certain people have done some things. We don't scrutinize them. We don't tear them down. We don't pick them apart. We don't go at them like we're going at our worst enemy. But when it comes to one of us trying to do something, we pick them apart like they were Satan himself. Why is it when people of the, members of our oppressors' race, when they do something, they get support where it counts? I don't need to remind you about Zimmerman. What's the boy up there, Rittenhouse, Darren, whatever the man with the George Floyd situation, Eric Garner, just all of them. I don't need to remind you. What happens? They get overwhelming support before you can blink an eye. They stand with their people. We know, long as we've been here, we've had a history of being jammed up with BS. We can't look and see this is them jamming him up. And some of us refuse to be our brother's keeper. Now he's trying to do something that none of us have tried to do, or even made it thus far. So because he might have done something in the past, or he might have, I don't know, I think what they said, whatever his DJ stuff, whatever, I don't want to get into all of that. Bottom line, he's rising to the occasion now. And if what he's working on is successful, it benefits all of us. So you would rather throw away that benefit because of what you heard he did, or what somebody said he did, or what he did do, and da-da-da, whatever, way back when? And then here's the other thing. You would watch him get jammed up just because of your personal opinion of him? What happened to right is right and wrong is wrong? And you stand on right whether you like the person or not. What happened to code? This arrest is not about him breaking a law. From what I saw, it's very questionable, sketchy. But they had to do something, so okay. Because we knew it was going to come eventually. But if it was that critical, to a point of being felony or felonious, seems to me they would have acted sooner. We're 3 months later. It's about stopping the movement he was trying to get going. It's about putting all the plantation dwellers' dreams down and reinforcing or solidifying their position on the plantation, or hopefully. It's about putting him in his place. He dared talk like he did. He dared demand accountability. He dared to demand transparency. He dared to question. he dared to take up arms. It's about putting him in his place. And if you guys can't see that and you would rather stay stuck on what he did or did not do, supposedly did way back when, what does that say about you? This thing is about pulling out. Okay, he's the head. Where the head goes, the body will follow. Yeah, we know. But he's always been the front, the face of. And it just makes sense to do that when we're dealing with the people we're dealing with and doing what they're doing, whatever. So you move him out the way, what happens? Either the movement falls or the next person rises up. I'll bet they're hoping the movement falls, but they realize it's going to struggle a minute. So in the process of it struggling, someone else is going to step up. That gives them another face. And with this, well, y'all know now contact tracing has been going on long before y'all even knew about it. So that gives them another face, another, how many phone numbers, 100 phone numbers in their phone to track. How much more, who else they've been communicating with, who else they've been sleeping with, talking to, anything else that gives them another avenue in. Because the way this works, and I don't know to tell y'all this, but I'm going to say it anyway, the way it works is you keep looking and looking and looking for someone who's connected to your target. And when you find someone that's connected to your target that's got some skeletons, you manipulate that person. You use those skeletons to your advantage to get that person to get you the information or the goal that you want. This is what they want, information. It's about this whole arrest thing, this jam up is what I'm calling it. It's about draining him financially to block whatever moves he may be trying to make. So now he gets to tie up all his funds doing what? Fighting these cases. So he won't have money to jump on a plane and go, I don't know, Seattle, Washington, California, wherever he may have to go in dispatch of what he's trying to do. So now all his money gets redirected into legal and survival. Probably be blackballed. We know his phones are being tapped, all that other good stuff. I mean, that's just what they do. But they're banking on him to have enough internal fighting within our community that he's not even going to get the financial support for the legal help that he needs. And sad part is, that's what we as a community tend to do. We will leave our brother or sister, whoever it is that's standing up, high and dry. And we'll fall back in line. And then we'll gripe and complain about conditions and, oh, the man won't let me do this, I can't do this, this is in place, that's in place. But when we have someone who is willing to stick their neck out, we didn't stand with them, we didn't support them. And when they got jammed up, we weren't there to bail them out and to have their backs and to do what needed to be done. That's been the history of what we do. And I see we're still doing it. Even so, to the point of using our public platforms to discourage anyone else from doing. That's a problem. You got an issue, it's your issue. Unless you got hardcore proof of some reason why he and the effort should not be supported, you shouldn't be telling people don't support. In the meantime, they continue the same tactics on another one. And the body's going to do nothing but what? Pick apart the next person. And blame them in some way and defame them and oh, they're an agent. Oh, they're just trying to get money. Oh, it's a scam. It's a this. And y'all been scammed so goddamn much, y'all don't even know if something is real or not. And then I'll go personal with this. People have been scammed so goddamn much. I've even been accused of scamming people. Old folks that I work with to help get the banks who are manipulating them out of overdraft fees and stuff that, they just can't keep up with because they're just too old and it's just too much for them. Sitting, working with them, meddling through, pushing through all of the foolishness that the bank is throwing at them to get them straight and be accused of trying to manipulate old folk. Because we are so daggone crab in a barrel, it's ridiculous. But how do I know all these things? Because I live it every day. The attempts to be jammed up. The defamation where people who might support you don't. Not because they have any real reason other than what they've heard. Not what they've seen and verified. Mind you, I didn't say just what they've seen. I said what they've verified. Because with Photoshop and computers, you can print some documents that look really, really authentic. But then you need to go back and double check those documents. So just because you see something does not mean it is what it is. The defamation to where, like I said, people who might support you don't. The offering, they'll offer people concessions, monies, favors, etc. Anything that's connected to their target, even remotely, so that they can get their information they want, to silence the target, to neutralize is the word they like to use. To stop the movement, to silence anybody else along the way. And what you see is, it's a public display. Just like was done way back when they punished folk. They would make sure they did it publicly because it sent a message to everybody else. Is that not what's going on now? Now here's the other side. Do stuff clearly illegal, clearly problematic, clearly wrong. And like I said, they get money before you can close your eyes, go to bed that night. A GoFundMe or 2 or 3 been started. And who knows how much has been being sent directly or other ways through Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, and Zelle, and all these other methods of sending monies. They get funds immediately. Why? So that they can have the best legal defense, so that their families never miss a beat. Their children won't go a day with the lights off waiting on money to come in. If they have children, like Rittenhouse, which you don't even have kids. But, the others. Their wives don't have to worry about, okay, he's in jail or he lost his job and he's going through this battle right now, so how are we going to make things happen? They make sure theirs are taken care of so that those are not even issues. So the stress involved with dealing with the day-to-day stuff has been removed. Oh, let me correct that. The stress involved with how you're going to finance the day-to-day stuff has been removed so that they can focus all their efforts on the battle. Do we do that? No. We allow ours to take on that additional stress by themselves or with little support. Why is that? Because we still on a plantation with a plantation mind to sell each other out so we can please somebody. Maybe somebody will let us have an extra crumb. Is it the crabs in a barrel? Is it, there was a study done, I can't remember, off the top of my head, the monkeys, where all the monkeys were beat. And as they removed one of the initial monkeys and replaced it with a brand new monkey, by the time all the initial monkeys were removed and there was nothing but brand new monkeys, all those monkeys beat up any new monkey that came in and tried to achieve the goal. Because it had been ingrained in them, don't do it. If you do it, we're going to beat you up. We're going to tear you down. Why? I mean, is it jealousy? Is it envy? And that jealousy and envy would be what? Due to your own insufficiency, your inability to rise up or to speak as he spoke or to command whatever following that he has been able to command to get done as far as he's gotten with this project. Or is it because we just too bamboozled to see that to have justice, equity, fairness, and application of the law, it requires money. It's been set up that way. And they know Who usually does not have enough money to make ends meet, let alone money to pay to have your justice? Us. That's how we get jammed up, and we stay jammed up. And these jams, it's not a matter of, a month or two and it's over with. These things carry on for years, and then you have for the rest of your life the consequences behind it. Now, they charge this man with felonies, which means he loses right, if they have their way. He'd lose his right to vote. He'd lose his right to carry his arms. All of that. Which puts him being a sitting duck. If anybody wants to come at him, he'd have to take a knife to a gunfight. You wouldn't want to be in a position where you got to take a knife to a gunfight. And for those of you who say, well, yeah, I saw he pointed. I saw too. And I see it with from a different perspective. I don't see him looking down into a scope or, looking into a scope, pointing a weapon at someone. I see him pointing a weapon in the sky, but I don't see his eyes in there as if he's taking aim. Now, with all of them running around keeping their weapons pointed up in the sky, just supposedly for their safety, The other thing I wonder, how's he supposed to know that somebody's on the roof? Or even who it is on the roof? He has a safety concern as well. So if they're looking to see who's here, who's where, wherever, that doesn't mean, and it sure didn't look threatening to me. And then you take into consideration, what does he always say? Don't point your weapon at anyone unless they point it at you. Point theirs at you. And if they point theirs at you, when you point, you be prepared to take them out. Other than that, don't ever point a weapon at anybody. He's been saying that from day one. So why isn't all of a sudden he will go point a weapon at none less than a Secret Service agent? Secret Service, was there a big sign that said, hey, I'm up here, I'm on top of the roof, and I'm a Secret Service agent? So how was he supposed to know that? See, these are the kinds of things we don't think about when we want to say, because I've heard someone say, oh yeah, but he shouldn't have done it. Put it in perspective. When you see a still shot and you don't know the details, you haven't looked at the person, you haven't looked at their patterns, etc., it's not fair. What if it were you who was getting jammed up? Wouldn't you want some support? Where's your code? And I'll go ahead and say that's one of the reasons why I kind of backed off of YouTube. Because I've always been an advocate for the underdog, for what's right, what's for healthy, what's for, for healing, for love, and for all that good, warm, fuzzy stuff. And those that do wrong hate me, don't like me, and do whatever they can to try to stop me, and I just keep pushing on. Those that are not like that are not just inherently good within themselves, they will be jealous and envious, and have been and have done everything they could to try to tear me down in any way they could. But here's the thing, it's a whole other story when you put yourself on the line. When you're doing the work, time that you could put into other things. And the very people you're trying to help are the ones intentionally trying to silence you, trying to destroy you, stop you, block you, defame you, anything they can to hold you back. That's a hard pill to swallow. And yet in the same breath, they claim to be on code, they claim to be woke, they claim to be for the people. But at the same time, they doing this to tear you down. You gotta wonder. But yeah, I know all too well. And like I said, that's why I backed off of YouTube. There's too many people here still caught in the entertainment of it. Too many people here still trying to get what they can and throw you to the wolves. Too many pretending to have your back and then sell you out. Too many believe the lies upon lies, and then they turn around and act on those lies. Too many would throw you under the bus before even trying to verify whatever it is they're mad at you about or whatever they've heard about you. Oh, well, I heard he did so-and-so, so-and-so, so I don't want nothing to do with him. Really? Do we even know it's true? I know that's what I've lived even in my YouTube life. Share some stuff because someone wants to silence the information that I'm sharing. So you run around and you start defaming. Too many people want you to, this is something I've had trouble with. Share it, put it out there, put it out there, put it out there. Certain things don't need to be on social media. If I say to you, and I'll use a real example, just the stuff that I'm dealing with. I have documents that show some real crooked stuff amongst agents of the court. Let's put it that way. Law enforcement, agents of the court, and other people involved. Stuff, very clear perjurous stuff. Very clearly intent to circumvent the law. Very clearly intent to steal assets. Very clearly intending to commit federal crimes. Hardcore proof, black and white. That don't mean I'm going to post it on social media just because somebody says I don't believe you. If you don't believe me, you contact me directly, privately, and I may or may not share if I feel the need. So because he doesn't post everything on social media, oh, he must be lying? Oh, it ain't true. He didn't put it out there. For real, people? Do you post your mortgage papers or your lease or whatever it is? If you say, hey, look, I'm doing these YouTubes and bills got to get paid, so here's just hit that super chat and hit me up. Do you post your mortgage so people can see what your mortgage payment is before they send you $5 or $10? Or before they come back and listen to your YouTube channel again? Or whatever other channel, like your posts or whatever on Instagram or wherever? So why then would you expect someone else to post sensitive information like that? Especially when not only does it put too many people involved and potentially jeopardize the safety of whoever else may be referenced in those documents, but it also gives the other side clear, concise, black and white proof or information, if you will, of what they need to try to counter or come for when they try to get rid of it. Think, people. Everything can't be put on social media. Another reason why I backed off of here. Too many trolls trying to block, because that's what they're getting paid to do. They are, let's be real, a lot of them are getting paid. They are the real agents. They're the real provocateurs, is the word y'all like to use. But they're getting paid to sit there and create conflict so that people can have real discussions and get stuff done. I've encountered several in my time on YouTube, not just on my channel, but on others. Too many people here not thinking for the greater good. They're thinking for themselves, what they can get for them, and that's that. And I'll be honest with you. If you one of them people that you would sell out or intentionally infiltrate another person's life or their mission or their motives, their goals, their projects, whatever it is they're doing, with the sole intent to try to destroy them, you are low. You are mighty, mighty, mighty low. But there's too many here that's just bottom line selfish, and they won't even make sacrifices for the brothers and sisters that are doing the do now. When the reality is the sacrifices that those brothers and sisters are making, their kids and grandkids will benefit from. So yeah, am I going to support? Yeah, I'm going to support. Because if he's able to accomplish half of the things that he said, then my grandchildren would hopefully be able to see something better than what I see. And for that reason alone, I'm willing to make a sacrifice. I'm willing to make the support or to give the support. I may not enjoy it, but I sure want to be looking down from, how you Christians say, looking down from heaven smiling on my great grandbabies who might be able to enjoy some benefit that comes down the pipelines as a result of what is being done. Too many don't want to see that. Too many of y'all don't see what's done to one is done to all of us if we leave it unchecked. Too many of us out here on social media are still stuck in their version of religion. And if I say anybody that know me, you know I shoot straight. Period. May not always be the most tactful, but I shoot straight. My heart is in the right place. It just is what it is. I say what I know to be true. I'm not going to repeat it unless I can verify it. And if I do repeat it without verification, I'm going to cite the source where I got it from. Because I want you to help me verify it. Hey, I heard so-and-so, came from here, looks in this direction. You know what? You dig on your end, let me dig on my end. Let's see what we come up with. But I'll put that disclaimer out there that I haven't verified it. I'm kind of looking in this direction. But yeah, let's get this thing verified so we know one way or the other. And when I started talking on social media, I watched what was done. I watched documents get fixed. Court records get fixed. I watched mine and my kids' personal information be doxed and posted out on social media in different places. I watched the attacks to our finances, our assets, our accounts, and things like that. And we still live that to this day. And I've been telling y'all these things without directly saying, you got to be careful what you put out here. And when people stand up to share with you stuff that's going on, do what you can to support them, because truth be told, you are next. You will be next. Whatever evil they are seeing and they're trying to warn you and they're trying to get support in stopping it and, going through whatever the legal proper channels are and whatever to get it taken care of, you need to support them. Because otherwise, what's going to happen? They will get squashed, and the same people that were doing that dirt is going to come over to you and do some more dirt or some other kind of dirt. And then you will get squashed. And then the next one, and next one, and next one. And so what? We stood divided, but every single one of us will fall. Let me tell you, go back and look at that video I did on targeting. And then, maybe look at a few more out there. It basically discusses this abusive relationship we have, or people have with abusers. Isn't that the relationship that we have with our oppressors? And I'm not saying everybody's a targeted individual, but in reality, we all are targeted individuals. In that the tactics that are used against the TIs, and they're more concentrated. Every one of us is falling up under some category in those tactics that are being used. In some way or another. Whether they go in hard on you and follow through and just make your life miserable, or whether they just do it for 6 months just to say, oh yeah, big deal, keep it moving to the next person. Every one of you. That's just the truth of it. So you might want to refresh yourself. And when you do that, you'll be able to see the ways in which you're being complicit, the ways in which you are helping, the ways in which you are being used in their chess game. That at this point they are winning. The ways in which you're part of the defamation. Have you gotten extra benefits with selling out? Helping to silence someone who had, some information that we all need to know about and kind of stand up against? Have you passed on false information? Just different things. Have you harassed someone unfairly? Do you sit and spend your days constantly dogging out or trying to prove how bad someone is? I got a person in my life who does that. She's been doing it for about 19 years now. For 19 years, this one person has made it their personal mission to represent me as badly as possible. And anything I do, she is right there to tear it down. Imagine for 19 years I've been dealing with that. This one person. Actually, it was two, but one of them died, so the other one left. And then they pull in support along the way. Every time you turn on, they'll drag somebody else in to help them. But it's the ringleader type of thing. All these years. Continuing whatever they can do just to tear down. If you're one of those kind of people, the ones who we're talking about, Grandmaster Jay and in fact, the ones who make it your personal mission to just keep dogging out every single little thing, picking it apart. Oh, they did this, oh, they didn't do this, oh, they talking like this, they ain't in jail. I can just say, from my personal experience, that one person I told you for 19 years has been harassing the hell out of me. It was 17 years ago that I realized that they were trying to get me arrested. They have an arrest record, and they was doing some foul stuff. And never did anything to them. It's just a matter of, the jealousy, envy type thing. And they were actually seeking to try to get me arrested. Did all the checking they could, did all the fine-tooth picking apart they could. They couldn't find anything. Not because I'm perfect, but because I try to operate within the law. And I try to operate with goodness and stuff. When I deal with people, I deal fairly, make a commitment. I try to honor my commitments, etc., etc. So because they couldn't find anything, they resorted to starting making up stuff. And as it was said to me, well, we'll get her in the public opinion, but we'll get her in the court of public opinion is the term that was used. We'll just tear her down so bad that nobody want to deal with her, and people will believe us, and she'll lose her job, and she won't get her promotions and all these kinds of things. So when I hear y'all doing that to this man, that makes me want to support him more, because I lived through, personally, someone who has made it their mission to tear someone down without solid proof of what they've done. All circumstantial. Is it questionable? Yeah. Well, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, can we chat? This is what I got. I'm seeing this. Help me understand it. Because I want to support you. I like what you want to try to do, and I want us, maybe to work together, maybe not. But I need to understand what it is you're doing. I need to understand I've got these documents here in front of me. I got this video in front of me. Help me understand what it is. Don't get on social media trying to blast them out. If you have not tried to verify, went to the source to verify it yourself. Bottom line, stop playing for the wrong side. It's weird, said very clearly, it's chess, not checkers. And those of you playing for a wrong side need to stop now, because it's not for your good. None of what they're doing is for your good. And if you're getting extra subs, super chats, Visa cards, gift cards, extra $10 on your food stamp every month, whatever. If you getting, some criminal stuff you got in your background, drop down to misdemeanors or erased, just so you could sell out somebody. That says a lot about you and your character. It says a whole lot. Because that's something I won't do. Maybe that's why people got issue with me, because I ain't finna do it. I'm going to call what I see, what I know to be true, and that's that. And if I did a crime, then I need to be accountable for it. And I need to have my proper due process. Don't make me over accountable for it. For example, if I go speeding, don't try to put me in jail for 50 years because I'm speeding. Make the punishment fit the crime and give me my due process. But what I see going on here is very disturbing. Very, very disturbing. Because what it says to me is a lot of us are not ready, or might need to get left behind wherever the destination is, whatever the destination is, whether it's a physical place or just an emotional, psychological place, or a state of being more independent, more self-sufficient, even if you live wherever you live right now, but just as a collective state of being more independent and free, I think is a term that somebody likes to use. Maybe you need to get left behind if you're willing to try to tear down. How about throw some bricks on top of to help build up instead of knocking down the bricks that are already there? Now, this must have got to me because I actually took time out of my schedule to sit down and do this. And a couple other videos I may go ahead and upload. But I just haven't taken the time to do them. I've done them. Hadn't taken the time to do it today. I said, no, enough is enough, because I'm hearing, and I just cannot believe that people would rather, ha 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 ha, so what? Now, I ain't supporting him, but here's the thing. Christmas is coming. Y'all finna go spend how much money for Christmas stuff or whatever, the whole holidays, getting new trees, decorating your house, all this other stuff. You can't send $20 to help in his defense, because he gonna need it. The way they trying to jam him up and then turn around and pull the double on him as soon as he come out of one, here's somebody else standing here to charge him with something else. I think I mentioned earlier in the year, back in the summer in one of my videos, I have another young man facing very similar. Trying to get jammed up now. Does he have some culpability with one of the charges initially? Yes, there's some culpability. But what they wanted him to do, they needed somebody for a crime, pegged him for the crime, looked at his background, oh, you're perfect. And he fought back. His family helped him, is helping him fight back. And they did the charge him, get him in there. First no bond, then you get a bond in this ridiculous amount, all this, because why? They thought he was not going to be able to get the resources to get it done. And each obstacle they threw at him, he was able to, his family was able to meet. So then they pulled another one. As soon as he's leaving there, oh, here comes somebody else to come pick him up and take him over there. And then they had to throw all their sets of fees onto him as well, and bonds and everything else. The family was able to get that together. This is the game that they play. And it's sad that so many of y'all will sit and watch it happen. It just, that's all I got to say. Bottom line. If you're going to be about it, be about it. If you're going to be about the struggle, if you're going to be about advancing us as a people, and that's not saying go out and go beat up people and take up arms and start shooting up folk and robbing banks that's not saying go do anything criminal. But we as a people are due to long past due of being at a point where we can just live peaceably, have some opportunity in life to enjoy life and to be something more than the lowest thing on the totem pole, to be stepped on by any and every day old thing. We're way past due for that. And if you're not about getting us to that point, you just need to shut the hell up and move on. And stop tearing down anyone who is. This wheel of getting there has a bunch of spokes, and people are going to have to work in different directions on it, because the spokes that tore us down came from different directions. So we got to build from different directions. Be a part of the solution, not the problem. And remember, as long as we continue to stand divided, every single one of us going to fall unitedly. As a collective, we will fall and we will stay down if we don't stand with those that are taking the forefront for us. Y'all be well.